Okay, so it was announced a few hours ago that we would be getting a Thunderbolts movie, which is a Marvel movie that we've been kind of expecting would happen since Falcon and Winter Soldier. It's basically like the moment Fontaine showed up in that show, I was like, oh, so we're building the Thunderbolts. Like, the moment she showed up, that character showed up and was introducing herself to John Walker, I was like, yeah, so we're basically gonna get Thunderbolts at some point. And that's what it looks. And we've been all. I think a lot of people have been like speculating on the idea of a Thunderbolts movie or a TV show in some capacity. It was just kind of the wondering as to who was going to be on that team. We'll get to that in a moment. Now, for those who are not in the full know of the Thunderbolts has been a lot of different things, but for the most part, it's mostly been villains and anti-heroes that have worked on a superhero team. Originally, it was the Masters of Evil, led by Baron Zemo, who, after the Fantastic Four and Avengers were lost in the Onslaught event, the Thunderbolts took over, and then it was revealed that it was the Masters of Evil at the end of the story, but they eventually realized, hey, going good it works pretty well, so let's keep doing that. But some of them went back to being villains anyway. And then we have like other versions. Some were led by Hawkeye. Hawkeye's now leading a new version of the team. We also had Norman Osborn's Secret Strike team. We had full-on villain teams. Recently, there was Kingpin's version that was like a police state force. It was yeah. So we've had the Thunderbolts around in different incarnations, but it's always been either villains or it's always been like villains, or in some capacity like villains looking to be redeemed or something like that. Personally, my favorite era of the Thunderbolts was the Andy Diggle run, which was the Norman. It was set during Dark Reign, and it was essentially a Norman Osborn strike team. It was kind of cool to see these Z-list villains kind of be like a Suicide Squad, but like done better. They were a lot of fun. It was also where we also had Jeff Parker take over, who I think is a vastly underrated writer. Jeff Parker also wrote the second version of the team when he took over after Andy Diggle, and basically his incarnation of the team was led by Luke Cage, and it had like Juggernaut and Man-Thing on the team. That was really cool. It was a really cool lineup. I really enjoyed, and it's really hard to find the Jeff Parker trades. I've only managed to get the first story. I got halfway through the first story arc because it was coming to me monthly, and then I couldn't afford the monthly issues, and I was like, well, shit. Fuck. I don't know what the fuck that was, so anyway. But yeah, I think it was really cool. I thought, I've always enjoyed the Thunderbolts. I've always liked them as a team. I've always liked the concept of the Thunderbolts. I've always thought they were pretty awesome. So to have them here, like to have them do stuff, is going to be cool to see them in the MCU. Like, I think this has been a superhero team that a lot of us have kind of wanted, is seeing the Thunderbolts a part of the MCU. So now we come to the question of who's going to be on that team. Now, there is some people who have speculated, and I'm pretty sure a lot of us have thought that there are going to be a few characters on here that, like, make sense. But let me talk about some characters before we get into the ones that we are more than likely are like, yeah, he or she's going to show up on the Thunderbolts. Let's talk about who I would like to see on the Thunderbolt on the MCU's Thunderbolts. Starting off, you've got to have Songbird on this team. She has been a member in a vast majority of the Thunderbolts. She went from being a villain called Screaming Mimi, and is one of those few Marvel characters that has stayed a hero. Like, usually when a villain becomes a hero, they, more often than not in Marvel, go back to being a villain. But for Songbird, she stayed a hero and is almost like Avengers level. She can almost, like, even Captain America once said that she's like Avengers worthy. So, and she's my favorite female character in Marvel. So, you have got to have Songbird on the MCU of Thunderbolts. That's like, you need that. You absolutely need that on this team. Another one I would love to see is Radioactive Man. And in this movie, if he shows up, I want someone to go, "Watch out, Radioactive Man!" Radioactive Man is a classic Thor villain who's also been like a hero. He went back to being a villain, but he's kind of pitter-pattered between the two. As for others, I think Solo would be cool to see on here. And the Fixer, like definitely Fixer, who went by Mach 5, that'd be great. Those are the ones I would like to see finally make the MCU debut and in the Thunderbolts. Now let's talk about what characters who are already in the MCU and will probably be on this team. Now, like I said, keyword probably, so who knows? But because there's always that aura of there's a good chance they may not show up at all in the MCU. So there's always, that, right? There's always that chance that they may not show up at all. So let's talk about one. So starting off, we have, of course, John Walker. We have U.S. Agent. U.S. Agent as the leader of this team makes a lot of sense. The moment Fontaine talked to him, I was like, oh, so he's going to be the field leader for the... he's just going to be the leader for this incarnation of the team, right? He's just going to lead. Like, there's no way that it wouldn't be John on part of this team. Like, the moment she showed up and was talking to John, so I was like, so he's going to lead the Thunderbolts. And I'm actually shocked in the new incarnation of the Thunderbolts he's not leading it, because, Marvel desperately needs those comic book, those TV show watchers or movie watchers for for anything. Next up, we have our second Black Widow, which I like. I think, yeah, she should be here. I think they've kind of built on that. Although I kind of want her and Kate Bishop to be in a Hawk. I want them to do a Kate Bishop and Black Widow show. Why is the name getting away from me? Why the fuck? I'm sorry, guys. It's late. I'm tired, and the name's just I'm just blanking. It hurts. And I know I'm gonna get 30 comments going. It was this person's name. I was like, thanks, all 30 of you. Anyway, sorry. I jest. Anywho, as for others, I think that as for another possible character who's already in the MCU, they could use Abomination. They've been using Abomination a lot in the MCU. Obviously showing up in Shang-Chi, gonna show up in She-Hulk. I would not be shocked that in She-Hulk we get Fontaine, after Blonsky is arrested again, she goes to him and goes, alright, I want you to be part of the Thunderbolts. I'm like, yeah. So I'm going to say, and a lot of people have been speculating that, yeah, maybe Blonsky after She-Hulk joins the Thunderbolts, and this announcement came in really hot, not too far after She-Hulk, so it does make me think maybe we are going to get Blonsky on the Thunderbolts, depending on what happens in She-Hulk. As for others, I would say... Well, Vision's still out there, and some people have speculated on the new White Vision being a part of this team. I don't know. It's a maybe. I do think another character that may show up in here, and this is a wild card, but I think this might happen, is Agatha. I do think Agatha Harkness has potential to be part of the Thunderbolts, because, yeah, she's getting her own show. She's going to probably answer a lot of stuff regarding the more magic side now that Wanda's gone, and maybe this is how we get Wanda back. And I would guarantee you that at least Fontaine goes to her to be the new version of the Scarlet Witch, to be her equivalent to the Scarlet Witch. So, Agatha, I would say, is a possibility. I do think Agatha is a possibility for the MCU version of the Thunderbolts. And again, she's a popular character. Of course, they'd want to utilize her more. For others, I would say, who knows? People have been saying Deadpool could be in here. I would not put it. I don't know, depending on when they've announced this or not. So Deadpool, probably not. I know they are doing Deadpool 3, but I think they're going to keep Deadpool in his own thing. I think they are going to just keep Deadpool like pseudo in the MCU, despite what they've said. Maybe there are a few characters out there that are like a solid maybe. I would say like whoever is going to be in Armor Wars. I think we're going to get multiple villains in Armor Wars, so I'm pretty goddamn sure we're going to get at least one or two of them here in Thunderbolts, depending on where this shows up in the MCU. So, yeah, there's characters abound, but I really want Songbird in here. I desperately want Songbird part of this MCU. So yeah, you guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think of the announcement for the Thunderbolts movie? I know the director is who's done the show The Stewardess on HBO Max. I haven't seen it, so I can't compliment on that. Anyway, but you guys tell me in the comments below, what do you guys think of this announcement for the official announcement for the Thunderbolts movie? Are you guys excited? Are you guys not? More importantly, what characters would you want to see on the Thunderbolts? Like, who's on your list? Are there some characters that are already in the MCU and characters that have yet to be introduced? Just comment below, let me know, and once again, I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.